Analyst is here, boys.
Who's president?
Huh?
Who's president?
Who even knows anymore?
Joe Biden?
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
What
is this?
What? That's my top
Stop
10
being
teams.
a degenerate.
TJ's. Well, this is how it's written. TJ's top 10 teams.
Nah.
Going into week 7.
Everybody rate TJ's top 10 teams as we go along here on a scale from 1 to 10 of your own, and let them know how bad he did,
okay,
or good.
yeah.
I don't know if that's
Or
possible.
bad.
Or bad, or bad.
So here's one thing that I've come to learn at week 7.
Yeah.
The top 5 teams, in my opinion, are easier than the bottom 5
Okay.
because
It is true.
So there's teams that are constantly switching in and out. You're saying
'Cause
the bottom top 5. Or
there's
top 10.
there's more teams that can be in the bottom 5 that can be in the top 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's
That's true. I agree with that.
there's I don't know 4
You might
teams-
be confusing people right now because they're not seeing anything.
right, but there's 4 or 5 teams that you could argue that are number 5, right?
So 6 to 10 are a lot harder
No, but
than
you just
1
said
to
5 was easy though.
No, by bottom 5 to 10.
Oh wow. So the
So
bottom six.
number 10 there could be 13 teams though. You see what I'm
13.
saying? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
see.
We'll
So-
see. I mean, I see a black screen with miscapitalization.
What is
heading
this?
into week 7?
Dude, switch down my list. Okay, number 10. Let's get into it.
Surprised you realized.
The Bengals.
Bengals. Where'd you have them at last week?
Not in the top 10.
Okay.
They
so
were
now
not in
they're
the top 10. So they're 3-3.
Okay.
Okay, so tell me why they got bumped up because they beat a belittled Saints team barely
Belittled.
on a,
He said
on a
belittled.
game-winning touchdown to Jamar Chase. The game was actually close.
This
They're
one is
facing a
kinda-
backup
This is actually
quarterback.
kind of tough just based on how the other teams lost. Which
Well,
is why
I
I could actually maybe justify
Well, I was
this.
gonna say I already had them in my top
I said
10,
I
but
did too.
I
considering
didn't.
that you
I
guys
didn't.
didn't, then how do you feel then?
I'm okay with it. Again, it's with how other teams lost because I was just doing my power rankings things, and it's just how other
'Cause
teams lost.
This is one of those things where it's the Bucks and Packers would be around this area, but they both lost. So
Yeah,
it's
49ers.
they're out of there. 49ers. It's
Wow.
there's so many teams that could be number 10.
Oh wow.
I'm not gonna say who I didn't have because I don't want to spoil anything, but there were probably
Don't spoil.
5
We'll talk about it
5
after.
teams I could
We'll
have
talk about
there.
it.
Wow. Okay.
I was looking at
Get
other
out
people's
of
power
here,
rankings because I was curious where they had some of these teams.
Joe, that's
and
cheating, bro.
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. That's a big reason
If I
that
don't
they
see the-
won.
okay, so obviously you have to have the Giants in here at some point.
Why are you always going ahead?
I mean, hopefully. I mean, I'm just saying. I hope I
You
see
always
them soon.
okay.
Okay.
But dude's always trying to be. Well, let's see what number 7 would be if he has the Bengals at 10.
No, I'm saying I hope I see them soon. I want to say it before it happens.
You don't think they're a top 5 team?
No.
Who?
Wow. The Giants.
No, not top 5.
Wow.
A lot of
That's
people
why I
do
want-
have them top 5, believe it or not.
No, I don't
People
yet.
that don't know anything about
I'll tell you what, though.
football. Okay, so
They're proving themselves, though. I got to give them
I
respect.
know, I respect them, but
They're not
geez,
top 5, you're right.
5.
number 9.
Tommy. What do you think about that?
It's pretty fair.
All right. I thought you were gonna be upset again.
No, they're still a top
I mean,
10 team to me.
Still a top 10
I
team.
can't be upset. They lost and they got beat down pretty bad by the Falcons.
They got beat pretty bad by the Falcons.
Losers.
A main reason they're there is their defense. Their defense is.
Is Nick Bosa's out for a long
what do you
time or what? Was he coming back?
That seemed like more of a game time decision whenever he was out. So I'm assuming I could be wrong that it's not a long term thing.
They were missing 4 of their 11.
What do you mean?
starters.
Okay, so are you saying they're at number 9 because of their defense? You're saying that in a good way.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why they still are in your top 10.
Not the only reason. Their offense is there, but the
Brandon
reason they're
Ayuk was doing good.
the reason they're
Tebow's been good
turnovers.
all season.
Falcons'
Debo's-
defense to me is
Yeah.
the thing that stood out to me in that game.
yeah.
And again, that's what I want to say. The Falcons look more impressive than
Yeah.
the 49ers looking bad to me.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's still mid.
Yeah.
So that's their issue. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue this. I might have them a spot higher maybe,
Okay.
but not by much. I mean, let's see what what other teams are here.
Number
Because
8.
Yeah, like I said, this whole week got shaken up, man.
The Chargers.
Yeah.
In the silence.
Where were they last week?
Probably
they
out.
were
No.
number 9.
Huh.
What are you holding in your hands right now?
My list.
Look at the other list. You have the other
Yes,
list. right there.
that's not the list.
That's not
That's
the
a
list.
different. That was a different list.
3. Okay.
They were number 9. They're 4-2. There was a lot of question from Herbert. His offense, I mean, he just didn't look great out there. But they are third in passes per game at 280 yards. So their offense, even like with Keenan Allen being out so long, he's back
that's
now.
one thing you got to remember. They're doing it without their actual number one wide receiver.
Right.
I mean, for like the longest time, but.
The Chargers are just such a weird team.
They're a very weird team.
Well, I'll tell
Such
you
a
what.
weird
I
team.
tell you what, man. And again, I don't like the Broncos too much, but their front seven, the pressure that they
Yeah.
get that I've seen all season,
The Broncos' defense is good.
might be one of the best.
Their offense just stinks, and they give up more penalties than anybody.
And I was gonna say the Chargers did focus on their offensive line too. Like that was an area that they wanted to.
See, this is just a game where, like, this Chargers team, I know Keenan Allen's out, but again, with how bad that Broncos offense is playing, you think they should kind of be able to kind of take away with it. Obviously, I don't think it should be an absolute shutout.
I actually
but-
did think that was going to be a close game.
See,
I wouldn't have been shocked at
didn't.
all if the Broncos won that.
Me either. I mean, it was a defensive game. Both defenses
it
were
was.
good.
It was.
Like, I think the Chargers are just hanging in there with teams that they shouldn't hang in there with, especially whenever the Broncos gave them 150 yards of penalty yards.
That is true. That is.
Like, that's
a lot.
ridiculous.
That
And
is
it
a
literally
lot of
came down to a
yards.
field goal at the
Yeah.
end of it, and the end of overtime. That shouldn't happen for this
With the
Chargers.
penalty yards, I agree. It shouldn't have been that close.
Yeah.
Them not having Joey Bosa matters because the Chargers defense actually played well for one of the first times.
I agree with that, but they still should have it. They're not
Exactly.
like Steelers defense where TJ Watt goes out and they're not good. They still got Khalil Mack. They still got good pieces on defense that they should be
Yeah,
able
but
to
you could
hold.
say that about the Steelers to some degree with Minka Fitzpatrick and Miles Jack and Cameron Hayward. I mean, they have other people that are there.
But are they performing? But minus the.
Well,
That's
no,
the
and the
same-
Chargers
yeah, it's
players
the same
really weren't
thing.
performing either.
No.
I just don't. You're right. I just don't think Joey Bosa being out should really stop.
He
him.
would, dude. He looked like one of the best defensive players
No,
in the
I
league.
agree,
at
but
the
I
beginning of
just
the
still think
season.
it shouldn't stop the defense from performing, in my opinion. But
Dang, I disagree. I think he's like a tier under TJ Watt, like barely. I think he's that good. I disagree with that one. I think him being there really, really matters.
yeah, it matters, yes,
Like,
but it
almost to
shouldn't
the
stop their
extent of
defense.
TJ Watt, I think it matters. Not quite, but almost. He's
I
that good.
disagree
He's
with
very
that.
good.
Chargers have a better secondary. I mean, I disagree with that heavy.
Here's where things get interesting. Number 7, the Ravens.
Wow.
I knew it.
Okay.
You
This is
knew
a
it.
week that I still predict them to win that division, but they're they're dropping off a little bit to me, dude. These leads they're giving up week in and week out are just like,
They seem a little bit fraudulent.
yeah.
They seem like they're not all there.
They were
don't know how
up
to
10
finish.
points with like 6 minutes to go or something like that. Blew it.
It's
Lamar,
like the third
They
week in
did
a
blow
row.
it.
too.
Lamar
they
looking
did
like an
blow it.
MVP candidate, just he's soaring down.
Whoa.
He is. He's making mistakes week in and week out.
He is TJ. He's not like that dude like he was
The first few weeks, he was looking insane, and now he has fallen off.
He still looks pretty
He
crazy.
should have played those first few weeks and then sat out.
He's the mistake. Yeah, the mistakes he's making is insane. I
Should
don't
be like, I'll come back whenever you guys pay me. That would have been a bold move.
Should
Wow.
have done it after
Yeah,
week
he should
3.
have, yeah.
After week
like
3,
he
should
lost
have
in
sat
that
out.
game to me, honestly.
Well, I mean, that's without a doubt. That
Yeah.
he definitely lost him that game. The interception, the
Yeah.
fumble.
For sure.
Like
Again, the Giants didn't have any business to really be in that game. The same way that they
did.
whenever they played the Packers. But they were and
against the Bills,
things
he
fell
threw
their
that
way.
pick in the end zone. Like he's just making these mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's just they're blowing leads. It's very disappointing.
Again, like I said, I wasn't really big on the Ravens, but I do see
I
them.
was.
They can be a playoff team still. Like I don't want to say that they're not.
I think they are, but they're not a Super Bowl contender to me.
And again, even the Bengals though, even though they won, like even for me, they have been underperforming what I thought that they would do. But I feel like that's going to be a race between those two teams. Coming down
Bengals
to
and
it.
Ravens?
Bengals and
Yeah,
Ravens.
It can
I agree.
be.
I agree.
It can go either
sure.
way, but I don't know. We'll see.
So what do we think number 6 is?
Giants.
Yeah. Mother trucker.
The Giants.
I can't do that.
You can't.
I just
You can't put the Giants above the
I
Ravens?
actually can't even argue that.
No,
I'm
they-
not looking at the
they-
other teams.
they did. It's just so hard for me to like pick like the 49ers. I still just do not think the Giants are better than the 49ers.
It's hard. It's hard to fight it though.
It
'Cause
is. I
at
know.
5
That's
and
why it's
1, you
just
can't
stupid.
say it's like a fluke anymore.
I'm just waiting
You
to
know?
see the Jets on here still.
So
you know
they're
what I
one
mean?
of 3 5-1 teams. The
I
Vikings,
know.
the
That's
Bills,
why
and
it is hard to not.
And Saquon being as good as he is, they're averaging 163 rushing yards per game. That's 4th best in the league. Like,
The Packers game kind of like shed some light, and I was like, oh, okay, you got my interest. And then this Ravens game actually really got me kind of not on board because I don't think they're one of the best teams in the NFL, but they're up there, man. They're competing, and I don't think
That's
it's
the thing.
fluke.
Well, that's the
That's
thing.
I really
it's like-
don't.
it's the Packers and the Ravens that they beat
Yeah.
back to back. So
which is exactly.
I will give them some respect, but I definitely have my questions. But
Yeah.
I actually don't hate that spot. I hate to say it, I don't hate that spot. Do I think that a lot of these teams you already mentioned are better than them? Yeah, but their record's not better than them.
It's true.
I think one thing that's tough is like historically they've been better than them. So whenever we think about these teams,
Yeah, no, you're
it's
right.
like, oh, the
It's-
Bengals, the 49ers are better than the Giants because like the Giants have been bad for
my
so
thing
long.
is, the Giants to me seem like a team that was in rebuild mode. They're like I don't know if anybody else is convinced this is Daniel Jones last
I
year,
thought
like
it
coming
was.
into the season.
I did too. That's why I didn't think they were.
Like the only way that he's on the team is if they're doing like what they're doing still. I don't even know if the front office wants that.
I didn't expect Saquon to go off the way he did. I
Nobody-
thought he would either
nobody.
get injured or
Yep.
he wouldn't be the same that he was, just like how he was the past couple of years. Like I thought he was done.
I think their defense is performing well.
It
That's true, too. I
surprisingly
like their
is.
defense.
I'm very shocked about that. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep it up, to be honest. But it is surprising. But just
They've
like
been doing it consistently, so I mean,
they've been building up a young team. They've been working on the offensive line for a while. Having a good offensive line is paying off for them
Yeah.
a lot,
Yeah,
really.
for sure.
I mean, it goes hand in hand with them having Saquon Barkley and him being back at it like
Yeah.
he was in his rookie season.
They have really high potential to like keep winning though. They play the Jaguars next,
Yeah.
then the Seahawks,
That's the thing, too.
Texans,
They're-
Lions. It's like they have
Yeah.
the potential to like actually just pop off.
Yeah.
And how many? I mean, shoot, they have 5 wins already. You win 5 more, you're in the playoffs.
Yep.
You win 5 more. That's all that they have to do.
Yeah.
And that's a losing record at that point, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, I mean, them finishing low in the division last year is setting them up with a nice schedule, and they're taking advantage of it right now. I mean, they even beat some good teams. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that, honestly. That's yeah, just right off rip saying 6 seemed really high. I'm not going to say I believe that they're 6, but I'm not fighting it. I'm not fighting it. I will
Now,
not.
number 5, a lot of people would argue that actually the Giants should be number 5 and this team should be number 6,
So the Cowboys.
the Cowboys. But the Cowboys beat the Giants. So that's why I just can't I can't justify the Cowboys being lower than the Giants.
I think the Cowboys as a whole do have a better team
So do I.
than the Giants. So I'm okay with this right now. Where were they at last week? Do you remember?
The Cowboys?
They're
Yeah.
probably at 4 or 5.
Okay.
No, they were I think they were 5.
Okay.
I think they were
Alright,
5.
so they stay the same. Again, the loss with the Eagles, but again, that was with Cooper Rush. Yeah, I'm fine with it, honestly.
I'm cool with it, too. I'm excited for Dak to come back.
Yeah, Dak is coming
I'll
back.
tell- I don't.
A lot
I
of
hope he
pressure on his
shows up.
shoulders, man.
Yeah. I could see him not showing up.
Me too.
They,
I mean,
He hasn't shown up a lot of times.
He
Yeah.
gives them a better chance to win.
I agree with
I
that.
agree- I do agree with that.
I'm not saying he's going to show up or
I
not.
was gonna
but
say I agree. He gives them a better chance, but I don't like him.
but
I'm not calling him a top, I'm not even calling him necessarily a top 10 quarterback or anything like that. I'm just saying
Yeah.
Cooper Rush is like bottom 25
Yeah,
quarterback.
you're right. You're right.
they're allowing 16 points a game, which is 3rd in the NFL, and 184 passing yards, which is 4th in the NFL. Like their defense is them, you know?
Yeah.
Their
it
defense
You're
is
right.
like
Yeah.
I'd say 3rd best in the league right now.
They're third
Third best. Who's above?
No, I take it back.
Bills?
Second place. Nah,
I like the Eagles.
they're in the
I feel
top
so high,
3.
dude.
They're in
That's what I'm
they're in the
saying,
top
dude.
3. Their defense.
Yeah, you got to realize though that the Eagles played Cooper Rush though. So if you're going to just compare that game like before that, I mean the Eagles defense gave up how many points to the Lions earlier in the year?
A lot.
A lot. So
the Eagles defense is
It's gotten
Still
better.
there's
since
so much
statistically-
that was
pressure on the
early.
Cowboys defense with the offense not getting
Because they're
yards.
carrying. Yeah, they're
really.
carrying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're still ranked where they are shows that, to me, I think they're still number 1. Buffalo has a really good defense.
You think they're
They're
better
just
than
injured, but they're still good.
they're better than Buffalo and the 49ers?
I would say better than the 49ers.
Yeah, 49ers secondary isn't there to me, and they lost one of their corners for the year.
I would say still. I would say they're better than both of them still.
Wow.
Buffalo 2. 49ers maybe. I don't know. I'm not even convinced 49ers 3. That might be I don't know. I'd have to look at all the whole list, but
Number 4, the Vikings. 5-1.
They're 5-1.
Their only losses to the Eagles.
They're just the most unimpressive
Yeah.
They are.
5-1 team.
They are.
To me. But they're winning.
They
so
are.
Keep it up.
Yeah. Yeah, 5-1. Only loss to the Eagles. I mean, what else is there to say?
not much.
Did you argue having the Giants ahead of them or no? 5-1 also.
No. I wouldn't.
I do think the Giants have had more impressive wins.
You could say that.
That's what I'm
I've
saying.
had
That's
more
why I
impressive
think
wins.
it definitely is debatable.
Nah.
I'm not doing it, but it's debatable. I think.
I think this will probably be about the highest that we see the Vikings, but I actually think it's a pretty good spot with them because at the end of the day, they're putting dubs together.
Yeah.
So are the Giants. And to
I
me,
mean,
to
yeah,
me, the
but
Giants'
it-
defense has looked a lot better than the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
The Vikings play the Cardinals, Commanders, and then the Bills, and then the Cowboys. So
So they're on a
that's
bye
tough.
week. They're on a bye week this week, then I'm guessing, because the
October
Cardinals play
30th?
Thursday night
Yeah.
football
Yeah.
versus
yeah,
Saints.
okay.
So
Yeah, I don't know. The
yeah, so
Vikings
they're heading into a bye with a 5-1 record. Pretty nice.
Interesting. I guess taking that ping pong table out of the locker room did not help the Dolphins because
No, it did not.
they didn't win. But
Yeah. But hey, Tua's coming back.
Yeah, I'm curious to
Allegedly.
see how that goes.
yeah,
I wonder if
Thank
it's
you.
gonna be a
I'm not
mental
gonna
game
lie.
for him a little
I
bit.
think this has got to be your easiest list you've ever put together.
easiest or
Yeah.
you mean best, most consistent, most accurate.
Go watch your
Both.
words,
Easiest?
Wow.
Why
I mean,
easiest?
Yeah, it just
Why
seems
is
like
this
everything
easier?
Is flowing so easily.
Yeah,
Like
it's not done yet.
It's not easy.
Okay.
Normally, it just dive bombs.
yeah.
Number
Alright,
3, the Steelers. No, the Chiefs.
Yep.
Lost to the Bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a one-score game.
Yeah.
The whole game.
TJ, I think you did it. I don't think you can mess this up.
He could so much.
I don't think you can
It's
mess this
actually the
up.
best list I think you've ever made.
Yeah.
I get it.
He could still mess
But don't
up.
say it wasn't easy. I spent 45 minutes
I've
making
seen a
it.
lot of people have been messing this up.
Really?
Talk about the
Wait,
Chiefs for a
what?
second.
The next is number 1 and 2 team. I don't. A lot of people out.
I got to be real with you. I think either one of them I'd be okay with.
You think there's one clear one?
We'll get there. See what you got.
I don't think there's one
Why?
clear. I don't think there's one clear one. I have. Actually, I don't. Actually, I don't even know anymore.
That's what
I don't
I
even
say.
know
I think it's a
anymore.
toss-up.
I think it's a toss-up. I know what I would have,
Me too.
but
What would you
I
have?
feel like we have the opposite.
Well, let's just show it then. Number 2, the Eagles.
See why? I don't.
That's-
no,
that's
nobody
what I
is
would
putting them at 1. Nobody is really.
Yeah.
Well, why would you?
I think it's just because the
Why
Bills.
wouldn't you? They're undefeated, and they're game against the Cowboys. Like I think their defense is just as good, if not better, than their secondary is playing so. Like I don't get it. I really don't understand why they're not the number 1 team. I don't.
Statistically, the Bills are first. 440 yards per
Statistically, the
game.
Bills' defense has been actually the best in the NFL.
The Bills just look
The
more.
Eagles is good too. And
It's
they're
good, but it's not the
undefeated,
best.
though.
It's not the best though.
The
The Bills
Bills just look more
statistically are the
dominant.
best.
I think the Eagles look. I think the
I
Eagles
think-
look pretty dang good.
I think
man.
the Eagles
That-
look pretty
that's-
dominant too.
I do
Exactly,
too. That's
exactly.
why,
The
like, I'm not
Cow-
gonna argue. Like, it's like you can't. It's not a clear
Yeah.
1 and 2. But to me, I just think because I don't know, they're undefeated. That Cowboys win was impressive to me.
That was the most
I-
impressive win that I think that I'd seen from the
Nobody's
Eagles this
putting
season.
them at 1.
It's
No,
because the
just-
Bills statistically are leading in more categories. Yards per game.
Yeah, but you gotta
Bills
look,
are number
you
1.
have to
Not
look at
all
the
about
matchups
stats.
though,
I
because
know.
Yeah, but look at the Eagles. You can say the matches, but look at who
That's
the Eagles
why
have
I'm
played.
putting the Bills.
The
That's why I'm putting
Jaguars,
the Bills. ahead of them.
Commanders, Cardinals, Lions. It's like, and
I
then
mean,
look at the Bills.
I agree with you. I have
Yeah,
the Bills at
that's
number 1
that's
also.
why.
But
I'm
that's
putting them
like,
there.
yeah, the Eagles are undefeated, but the Bills
The Bills just beat the Chiefs.
just beat the Chiefs and are statistically still, they still have the best defense statistically after playing the Chiefs, which that's not easy to do.
Yeah, I
And
know.
again,
they
I've been
forced
saying it.
Mahomes to throw some turnovers
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I
The
know.
Bills are
I
on
just-
another level. The Eagles, in my opinion, are not on another
I'll tell
level.
you, I can't
I
believe.
like the Eagles, dude.
I do
don't-
too.
I
I do
disagree.
too.
Well, the reason why the Eagles are on another level, they're on another level in the NFC. There is nobody in the NFC that is anywhere near as good as Philadelphia. Seriously, who's the number 2? Is it the Cowboys? Is it the Giants?
No, I'd argue probably the.
Is it the
49ers.
Vikings?
I'd probably a
I think
healthy
it would maybe-
49.
But the 49ers are 3 and
You're
3.
right. You're right.
now.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right about that.
So that's why the Eagles are on another level. They are just running away with the entire
their
NFC.
secondary is crazy. Like I don't know.
Well, that's why
They're-
I said. That's why I picked Philadelphia. I knew their defense is no joke. They rebuilt their secondary. They got a pretty good front line.
Dang, they have such an easy
They brought in A.J.
schedule.
Brown. Their run game's working so well. Like, the read options, they look better than Lamar Jackson with the read option and the Ravens with the read
Yeah, they
options.
do. You're right.
Everything they're doing is so efficient right now.
Yeah, I have nothing against the Eagles. Just if I looked at the Eagles and the Bills so far and what they've done, like I feel like the Bills have had a more impressive slate than the Eagles have yet, and that could change.
And yeah, I'm not even going to argue
And that could
I-
change. But the Cowboys obviously was the biggest win I think for them, and they looked good in doing it. But again, you could argue Cooper Rush was there.
So who do you have at number 1?
The Bills would be my.
Well,
number
you were fighting for
I'm
the Eagles
saying-
because they were undefeated last.
I said because it's arguable. The Bills beating the Chiefs the way that
I was
they
going to say,
did.
you guys love the
Yeah.
Chiefs here. So the Bills
The
going
Bills- I
into
do.
Arrowhead
I know. I
and
s-
beating them.
Says a lot.
It
yeah.
does.
I
It
don't
does.
think there's a clear cut number 1. I'll say that much. Like I
And
think
there's
if
not.
someone had the Eagles, I couldn't argue it. If someone had the Bills, I'd be like, okay, that's kind
So
of.
I'm
what
not
looking at
arguing
right now.
either. Like,
I just can't
yeah.
believe like I've looked at power and I said nobody has Eagles at 1. I just think that's surprising me. That
Maybe that
nobody's
says
doing
something.
it. Huh?
Maybe that says something. That the Bills are just that next level. They're the fact that they're leading statistically is the reason I
know.
like.
I
I
The
can't put them
craziest
at
part
two.
for me is just Von Miller has just looked like a different animal. Like even in that Chiefs game, man, he was that whole last drive was basically him. Truthfully, like he was just
And,
an
and also
absolute
the Bills.
specimen
The
out
Bills
there.
were without Jordan Poyer.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Like,
Like
they were out-
Tre'Davious White. They do have injuries on
Wait,
defense.
we don't know who number 1 is yet though.
Okay, so
The
let's.
Jets.
Jets. The Eagles. I'm looking at the schedule and wow,
For the Bills or for the Eagles?
Eagles,
Yeah, they do have an easy schedule.
Steelers, Texans, Commanders, Colts, Packers, Titans, Giants, Bears, and then the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will see
It's an
the
easy
Eagles,
That's
you will see the
insane.
Eagles
Wow.
in the top 5 year power rankings. throughout the
But
whole season.
that's the thing. If they start to lose those games,
Yeah, I don't
Which
think
they're
they
not.
will.
They're not perfect.
They're
They're
not
not
right.
perfect.
They're
They
not.
will.
They're gonna
they
lose.
will-
They're not going undefeated.
Realistically, I think
Right.
they should lose 2 games.
They will drop
with
some
that
easy
schedule.
games that make
All
us
these good
question for a
teams,
second.
even the Bills, could still have a game where you're like, wow, they look bad.
Oh, they
Every
will.
they all do it.
They will. They all will. There's no team like that right now. But
ooh, they would be that team right now. That's undefeated. That looks.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
just
should
don't
win.
think that's real.
Because like where did the Eagles finish last year? Well, they made the playoffs, so I don't know why their schedule was actually that easy.
Where it's like as if you look at the Bills' schedule, it's a little bit harder.
I mean, the Bills'
Rams,
schedule should be
Titans,
harder.
Dolphins, Ravens, Steelers, Chiefs. So
Yeah. The whole NFC East.
Too bad the
schedule,
Eagles don't
so-
play the Bills this year.
Yeah.
yeah, that
Super
would be
Bowl.
awesome.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
It's possible.
That never happens, though.
No.
It never happens.
All right, that has been TJ's top 10 teams on a Tuesday. Let us know down below where you had these teams, what you would change, and we will see you here next week on TJ's top 10 teams on Tuesday.